Welcome back to Kenton and Habiba. My name is Habiba and today we're going to be cooking some collard greens, southern collard greens. If you're in the South, collard greens is very common, very typical, very inexpensive. For those of you who don't live in the southern part of the United States, this is going to be fun. So you might know that collard greens was something that slaves used to eat all the way back in the 1600s when they were brought to the United States. So it was a very inexpensive food source. It's loaded with vitamin C and vitamin A, and it's still typically served at southern dinners. There is no southern restaurant you're going to go to that doesn't serve collard greens. Now usually they cook it with pork or smoked ham or smoked turkey, and I do enjoy it, but it really sometimes is a little bit too much on the salt and also a little bit too much on the fat. So I've come up with my version of collard greens, and I hope you will watch it. Collard greens is you really have to wash them well, so even after you rinse it off, you can soak it in salt water, and that really gets rid of any grit or potentially bugs. So I'm gonna really wash them well. So here are the collard green stalks. As you can see, they're pretty tough. So you pull this off. We're not gonna eat this part. If you're southern, you already know this. Here's the leaf. You're gonna pull it away from the stalk. Oops. Yeah, pull it away. And I got my salt water here. And then I'm gonna rinse it like 3-4 times. You can't rinse it enough because you'll see there's like sand in the water. You may not be able to see it. So you're going to cut it up really thin, or as thin as you can, and into the bowl, which will then get cooked. Alright, our collards are finished boiling. It's been an hour. See how they've changed color? And you see how they're very reduced. I'm going to now strain this. Carefully strain it. And then I'm going to season it. My peppers, I've got a big orange pepper and an onion, and I also have one of these large spring onions. So we're going to dice that up, add it to the pan, mix up our collards and season it with some spices, and we're good to go. So this is the broth, some of the broth that I strained off. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of sugar because you want this to have a little bit of sweet, or a tablespoon and a half. Just a little bit of sugar. I'm also going to add a few dollops, about a tablespoon of vinegar, and that gives it a little bit of sour. So this is eventually going to go on my collards. Little bit of sweet, little bit of sour, and of course we're going to have a little bit of pepper, not too much. Here's my onions, peppers, and regular onions. I'm going to add that, or added that to a little bit of cooking oil. You could use olive oil if you wanted, or you could even use some coconut oil if you're trying to be really healthy. This is just regular cooking oil, vegetable oil. Seasoning is, I'm just adding a little bit of adobo. That little bit of onion flavor, sauteed onion and peppers in the collards. This gives it that extra. So you don't always have to add meat or pork to everything. You can just season with spice and vegetables. Now I'm ready to add the strained boiled collards to our veggies. Get it all in there. Mix that up. Get all that seasoning in. It's amazing how that huge bunch turned into, you know, the smaller amount. Now that I finished frying the collards, or they've thoroughly mixed up, I'm going to add the vinegar and sugar mixture to it. It wouldn't be collards without a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of sweet. So I'm not going to mix it, keep it on the fire until much of the vinegar evaporates, but not completely dry. Make sure you mix it in really well so that you get that sweet and tangy flavor all through. It's all done. I let it continue to cook for about 5 more minutes. Now it's done. I'm gonna go ahead and spoon it into our bowl. You can eat this by itself. So here's the final dish. Doesn't it look delectable? A healthier version of collard greens. And it's not that complicated. So you know what you could do that would be cool? You could use this as a filling and make a modern egg roll. You could, you know, stuff it in an egg roll. So I got my dough. It's been resting for several hours. So let's say we have a party, or you have some friends coming over, or you want to feed your teenage kids and try to entice them to eat vegetables. We're going to make some rolls, egg rolls. So the same, I couldn't find my regular rolling pin, so I'm using what I would use to make sugar flowers. It's small, but this is kind of similar to what some of the Chinese use. Theirs is usually wooden, so it works okay, especially when you're dealing with small pieces of dough. So I'm going to make a square. It's going to be about 6 inches, and I have a container that works perfectly. So I'm just going to use that, cut the edges. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and make one so you can see. A tablespoon and a half, and then fold it over like that. Then bring one corner, fold it over. You can add a little bit of water if it's a little dry. Fold it over, just like a nice little gift. And then roll. Beautiful. Can't wait to fry these up. So just be very careful. Got us into some hot oil. Not burnt. Yeah, just like that. So I hope you enjoyed watching me cook collard greens. As you can see, it was a very easy method of cooking, and it's very inexpensive. So I hope the next time you're in the supermarket, you will consider buying some collards yourself if it's available. Anyway, I hope you will come back. I will have another video coming soon, a super nutritious, colorful vegetarian feast. I really can't wait to share this one with you. So thank you again for watching, and God bless. See you soon.